I got a comment on my last video telling me to not only focus on the good times with Stephen, but to also plan ahead for old age and all the stuff that you don't like to think about when you're in a marriage. And I realised that it's such an important topic that I should do a video on it, and also because myself and Stephen have actually planned for the future. Before I start this video, I just have to say that I am not giving financial advice. I'm not like a financial advisor. If you're planning to do any of this, then speak to a financial advisor or a licensed professional and they will direct you in the right way. This is just what we have planned and what is right for us. I know, like, thinking of your partner dying is the most depressing subject ever, but it's actually something that you really need to be prepared for, especially if you don't have kids, because I know you don't have kids to like look after you when you're old, but if you don't have kids and your partner then dies, it is a little bit more scary of like, okay, I'm going to be by myself. What do I do? As a partner, you need to have this discussion so that you can make sure that your partner is safe and protected and you have peace of mind that they're going to be okay. And that's why Stephen and I have set up this huge list of things to make sure that both of us are going to be okay when the other passes away. So I've got my list here of everything we've got set in place because I know I would like forget some or I would get them wrong, and it's quite important that I don't get them wrong. And before I start this, I also need to say again that I'm not a financial advisor. This is just our story, and if you're going to set things in place, then make sure you speak to a financial advisor or a specialist and they will set you on the right path and what's like best for you. So first of all, what we've put in place is life insurance, which includes critical illness cover. So this is basically a safety net if someone passes away or becomes seriously ill, and it's just like a big chunk of money. And we got that because it takes off a lot of stress for both of you, unless one of you dies, but if one's seriously ill, it takes off a lot of stress of both of you at that point of time, because you're going to be so stressed out that being stressed about money is not needed at that time. The next one we have in place is a separate policy to the life insurance. This is a family and personal income plan. So this protects our monthly income, and this basically means that if either of us can't work for an extended period of time due to injury or illness, then this provides us with a regular replacement income, and it's basically to help us with day-to-day bills, and it just helps us not lose our house, because that's a stress that we don't need if our partner's like critically ill or both of us are critically ill. So this was like a must-have for us. The next one we have in place is a really horrible one that I don't like to think about, but Stephen set this up for me. This is his work pension and death in service benefit. So I'm the main beneficiary, and if the worst was to happen to Stephen while he was still working, then I would get his pension and death in service payment from his employer separate from his pension. But that's never going to happen because we're going to be together for a very long time and retire and have the best life. So don't like to think about that one. Another one that we have set up is private medical care. So this just basically reduces any stress if any issues come up in the far, far, far away future, and just make sure that each other is always going to be okay and that we have the best medical care that we can afford. And because I have epilepsy, Stephen wanted to get that just to ensure that if anything ever happened to me, that I would always be looked after and I wouldn't have to worry about anything. There is a thing that you can set up on Facebook, I'm not sure about Instagram, but if someone dies, then that person is allowed to sign into your social media to get all your like chats and pictures and things. But Stephen doesn't use Facebook and he barely uses Instagram, so we've not set that up yet. In fact, see, to be honest, when we both die, I don't actually think Instagram will be here. God knows what will be here in like 20 whatever year it'll be when we're like 100. So you can also set that up, but we've not done that because Stephen's not really a social media person. So for things like passwords, we share passwords to near enough everything. But for things like bills, I know the passwords. We know how much comes out every month. I know the bills, he knows the bills. Joint account, so we know what comes out, what doesn't come out. Well, in this cost of living, what does come out. Stephen and I have joint accounts, and I think that's also really important when someone dies, because then you're not like oblivious to how much things are, like how much your TV is, how much council tax, etc. You know what everything is. Also, everyday things, I just think joint accounts are really important. They have been to us. And we also, things like big purchases, like house, etc., both our names are on that. I also think that's very important, and we've always done that with our flat and in our house. I know a lot of it is finances, and that's because if something happens to the other, like if one of us dies, then the other will need money, either like to look after themselves, or they might need medical care in the future, like if they have dementia or something horrible, then they'll have the money in the bank to hopefully get into a home. There's just a lot of stuff that we have in place so that the other person is protected, and that's the main thing. Like, you want to make sure that that person you love is safe, secure, protected, and you have peace of mind that they're going to be okay. And that's why we've put this big list of things in place. The final one is wills and power of attorney, and Stephen and I are currently just finishing that off, and I'm not going to get into all the legal stuff with that because I don't know it well enough, but that is something that I've been told you have to have, regardless. So we are currently finalising all those details with our lawyers, and yeah, that is everything that we have. So hopefully I will see you again next week with a less morbid video, but I do hope that this helps if anybody is in a similar situation and they're getting everything sorted for their future. And thank you to the person who left me the comment to remind me to do that. It's very kind of you. And yeah, so I'll see you next week with a cheerier video. Hope you all have a lovely weekend. Bye!